Hello and welcome to In Depth. I'm Tina Jha. US President Donald Trump has decided to end exemptions from sanctions for countries who are buying oil from Iran. The move is to further squeeze Tehran's top export commodity and bring its oil exports to zero. Seen as an escalation of Donald Trump administration's maximum pressure on Iran, the decision applies to 8 countries, including India, that had been given a temporary waiver of 180 days last year. Now, as a result of this decision, all 8 countries would have to bring down their imports of oil from Iran by the 2nd of May. While Greece, Italy, Japan, South Korea and Taiwan have already heavily reduced their oil imports from Iran, China and India are currently the largest importers of Iranian oil. India was the second biggest buyer of Iranian crude oil after China. It bought some 24 million tons of crude oil from Iran in the fiscal that ended 31st March 2018-19. Iran supplied more than a tenth of India's oil needs. So what implications could the US move to end sanctions exemptions to any oil customers of Iran have on India's energy security? We explore today in depth. So this week, the United States of America announced it will not grant any further exemptions to any oil customers of Iran. The move, aimed to put pressure on Iran to curtail its nuclear program, affects 8 countries, including India. The United States had reimposed sanctions on Iran last November after Donald Trump pulled out of the landmark 2015 Iran nuclear deal. The United States, however, also announced that the sanctions will not impact India's Chabahar port project in Iran. In a bid to squeeze the Islamic Republic's top export, US President Donald Trump on Monday announced it will not grant sanctions to any oil customers of Iran. The announcement was made after the United States decided to not reissue its significant reduction exceptions after the 2nd of May. This essentially means that the United States will not be extending any waivers exempting importers of Iranian oil from US sanctions, and there will be no grace period for the 8 economies to comply. Last November, the US granted a 6-month waiver to India, China, Greece, Italy, Taiwan, Japan, Turkey and South Korea to continue importing oil from Iran. The temporary 180-day waiver ends next month. The United States reimposed sanctions on Iran last November after President Trump pulled out of the landmark 2015 Iran nuclear deal between Iran and 6 world powers.
But then when Trump came, he wanted to walk out of the deal, which he did in 2018, last year. Because he felt, it was political as well as, I would say, under pressure from the Israelis. Political factor was that he wanted to undo whatever Obama had done. And the other fact was that he was closer to the Israelis. The Israelis were telling him that you should reimpose. The Israelis were not happy with the JCPOA agreement because they felt that it only bought them a window of time after which the Iranians will again start rebuilding their nuclear weapons program.
Soon after the announcement, US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that the decision is taken to put maximum pressure on Iran over its nuclear program.
Today I am announcing that we will no longer grant any exemptions. We're going to zero across the board. We will continue to enforce sanctions and monitor compliance. Any nation or entity interacting with Iran should do its diligence and err on the side of caution. The risks are simply not going to be worth the benefits.
Pompeo also informed that the US has had extensive and productive discussions with Saudi Arabia, the UAE and other major producers to ease this transition and ensure sufficient supply.
I want to emphasize that we have used the highest possible care in our decision to ensure market stability. The United States has been in constant discussion with allies and partners to help them transition away from Iranian crude to other alternatives. and we've been working with major oil-producing countries to ensure the market has sufficient volume to minimize the impact on pricing. Both the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates have assured us they will ensure an appropriate supply for the markets. And of course, the United States is now a significant producer as well.
Meanwhile, Iran denounced US sanctions on its oil sector as illegal. In a statement, the Iranian Foreign Ministry said that since the sanctions in question are principally illegal, the Islamic Republic of Iran did not and does not attach any value or credibility to the waivers given to the sanctions. Iran is also in constant talks with its international partners, including the Europeans, on ending the exemptions.
Well, Iran will certainly be affected. It has already been affected by the partial sanctions that have been imposed unilaterally by the USA. And it has lost over $10–12 billion. Iran's revenue, much of its revenue, I think about 40%, comes from oil sales. And if all the oil sales are stopped, it becomes zero, as the Americans are threatening that is their objective, then Iran will lose a lot of money. And that will impact on their economy, that will impact on the lives of the people there, and it will impact on everything that, in terms of revenue, which will be reduced by 40%. So it will certainly raise prices, for example, of ordinary goods in Iran. So it will cause a lot of hardship for the Iranian people.
As a result of this decision, all countries, including India, would have to bring down its import of oil from Iran by the 2nd of May. Since November, 3 of the 8 countries, Italy, Greece and Taiwan, have stopped importing oil from Iran. And Japan and South Korea have already heavily reduced their oil imports from Iran. China, which is a major importer of Iranian oil, has opposed the US sanctions, saying that its bilateral cooperation with Iran is in accordance with the law.
中方一贯反对美方实施所谓的单边制裁和长臂管辖。中国同伊朗的合作公开透明、合理合法，理应该得到尊重。中国政府致力于维护本国企业的合法权益，我们愿为促进国际能源市场的稳定发挥积极和建设性的作用。
However, on Wednesday, a US State Department official announced that the strategic Chabahar port project being developed by India in Iran is a separate exception and will not be impacted by Monday's decision. Iran is India's third largest oil supplier behind Iraq and Saudi Arabia. India's import of crude oil from Iran during the April to February period of 2018-19 at $11.42 billion was about 11% higher than in the previous fiscal. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. So India and 7 other countries will not be able to import cheaper Iranian oil without attracting US sanctions after the 2nd of May, when the Trump administration will end all the waivers. India imports over 3/4 of the oil it consumes, and Iran has long featured in the list of its top sources. But since sanctions had gone into effect, India had decreased its imports from Iran. India is also confident that it has a plan in place to ensure supplies of crude oil from May onwards when the waiver ends.
India relies heavily on other nations for its energy needs. As the world's third biggest oil consumer, India meets more than 80% of oil needs through imports. The Trump administration's decision not to extend waivers from Iran sanctions is therefore expected to have an impact on India's oil needs. India was the second biggest buyer of Iranian crude oil after China. India bought some 24 million tons of crude oil from Iran in the fiscal ended March 31st between 2018 and 19. Iran supplied more than a tenth of its oil needs. Iran in 2017-18 was its third largest supplier after Iraq and Saudi Arabia and meets about 10% of its total needs. In 2017-18, India overall crude oil imports from Iran totaled nearly 22.6 million tons. In 2013-14 and 14-15, India bought 11 million tons and 10.95 million tons respectively from it. In fact, till 2010-11, Iran was India's second biggest supplier of crude oil after Saudi Arabia, but Western sanctions over its suspected nuclear program delegated it to the 7th spot in subsequent years. Sourcing from Iran increased to 12.7 million tons in 2015-16, giving it the 6th spot. In the following year, the Iranian supplies jumped to 27.2 million tons to catapult it to the 3rd spot. But recently, after US sanctions, India had agreed to restrict its monthly purchase to 1.25 million tons to get the waiver.
We are not such a big producer of oil, so almost 80% of the oil we have to import, and so we have to diversify our sources. The problem will arise that as we have seen in the oil market, that as soon as this announcement was made by the US administration, the price of oil went up because the expectation is that supplies will go down. Now let us see whether that happens or the other suppliers will come into the market with more oil to stabilize the prices.
Although as far as Indian oil is concerned, supplies will not be a problem. Indian authorities have said that they have already lined up alternate sources. They said the shortfall will be made from alternate supply sources available in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, UAE and Mexico. The Oil Ministry also added that Indian refineries are fully prepared to meet the national demand for petrol, diesel and other petroleum products. Apart from this, Indian Oil Corp has the option to take 0.7 million tons of crude oil from Mexico on top of its committed purchase of 0.7 million tons during the year. From Saudi Arabia, it has an optional volume of 2 million tons on top of a term contract of 5.6 million tons. Similarly, it has optional volume of 1.5 million tons from Kuwait and another 1 million tons from the UAE. Besides this, the US has also offered oil supply to India.
India will lose oil supplies from Iran, which is 4th or 5th largest supplier to India. But these supplies can also be arranged from other sources. However, the prices will go up. In fact, the prices have already gone up by 35% in past 4 months since January. So these higher prices will affect not only supplies from Iran but also supplies from other sources.
Meanwhile, United States' decision to end sanctions waivers has affected oil markets globally. Oil topped $74 a barrel on Monday, its highest in 6 months on fears of shortage due to expected removal of supplies from Iran. Rising crude oil rates pushed prices of petrol and diesel in the international market, to which domestic rates are linked. Higher oil prices also weakened rupee as India imports. The combined effect could lead to higher domestic rates of petrol and diesel in the poll season, until state-owned oil marketers decide to absorb the higher rates. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Time for a short break on the program. On the other side, we talk about the India-Iran relations. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching In Depth. The United States has played an active role in Iran's domestic politics ever since it covertly supported a coup that removed Mohammad Mossadegh, the architect of Iran's energy nationalization drive, from power in 1951. By reinstituting the Shah in Iran, Washington began to alienate an increasingly influential cleric class, which 28 years later would help remove the monarchy in the Islamic Revolution. The United States severed its diplomatic relations with Iran after the seizure of American hostages in Tehran in 1979.
Iran was once a strong strategic partner of the US in the Middle East. In 1950, Raza Shah Pahlavi, the then ruler of Iran, started the country's nuclear program with the help of the US. Under the Atom for Peace program, the United States started building the first nuclear power plant in Iran. But political upheaval started in Iran before it could be completed. Meanwhile, in 1953, Mossadegh was deposed by his military officers in a coup orchestrated by American and British intelligence agencies, restoring power to the Shah. After this, the public became increasingly angry about the Shah and America. In 1979, under the leadership of Ayatollah Khomeini, there was a revolution in Iran and Shah was forced to flee to Egypt. The defining event of anti-American feeling in Iran was undoubtedly the hostage crisis of 1979, in which Iranian students occupied the US embassy in Tehran and held 52 American diplomats and citizens hostage for 444 days. In April 1980, with the hostage crisis showing no signs of ending, Jimmy Carter severed all diplomatic ties with Iran, and it has been so ever since. From 1983, US President Ronald Reagan's administration imposed a series of economic restrictions on Iran in response to alleged Iranian-sponsored terrorism. America, however, continued to buy billions of dollars worth of Iranian oil every year through subsidiaries. The trade between the two began to increase after the Iran-Iraq war ended in 1988. All of this came to an abrupt end in the mid-1990s when US President Bill Clinton imposed broad and crippling sanctions against Iran. Restrictions were eased a bit in 2000, but concerns over Iran's development of nuclear energy subsequently led to new sanctions targeting individuals and entities believed to be involved. Since the early 2000s, US-Iranian relations have been dominated by American allegations that Iran is developing nuclear weapons. Iran had been consistently denying the allegations. In 2010, Iran began enriching its 3.5% uranium to 20% at the Natanz pilot plant, purportedly for use in fueling the Tehran research reactor. In 2011, the nuclear power plant located in Bushehr became operational and started adding electricity to the national grid.
The immediate dispute was on the nuclear issue, on which actually an agreement had been reached under Obama administration. But there's a historical background, and that goes back to Islamic Revolution in Iran. You would recall that before 79 revolution, Iran was actually part of American military alliance. So those memories have remained on both sides.
While Iran continued to claim that its nuclear program was peaceful as its purpose was to meet the energy needs, the US and its allies continued to raise doubts about the same, imposing various economic sanctions on the Islamic nation. In November 2013, Iran signed an interim agreement limiting its nuclear program. The Joint Plan of Action was signed with 6 world powers: Britain, China, France, Germany, Russia and the United States. On July 14, 2015, Iran finalized a comprehensive deal with UN Security Council's 5 permanent members and Germany, with key provisions to limit the country's nuclear program for 10 to 15 years. The agreement was known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. But in 2017, US President Donald Trump announced that his administration would no longer certify Iran's compliance with the JCPOA. He alleged that Iran had not complied with the spirit of the deal.
Main dispute is, of course, on the nuclear issue. Iran was suspected for having a nuclear weapons program, which it should not have had, because Iran is a signatory of the NPT. So at that time, I think during President Obama's time, there was this agreement called the JCPOA, under which Iran undertook not to develop nuclear weapons, destroy some of the facilities, at least for 15 years, so that and in return the Americans said, okay, we will allow some element of normalization in terms of removal of certain sanctions, unfreezing of certain accounts and money that the Iranians had in the USA and other places. That was the deal, basically.
America accused Iran of building ballistic missiles and supplying weapons to Syria, Yemen and Iraq to destabilize the countries. Finally, on 8th May 2018, US President Donald Trump announced that the United States would unilaterally cease implementing the JCPOA and that he plans to reimpose nuclear-related sanctions on Iran. Earlier this week, US President Donald Trump announced to not grant sanctions to any oil customers of Iran. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Iran is an old strategic and business partner of India with long history of social and cultural ties. Both India and Iran are regional superpowers as well. Let's now take a look at the history of Indo-Iran relations. Social, economic and business cooperation between India and Iran date back to several decades. India-Iran ties have traditionally been dominated by oil trade. After China, India is the second largest importer of oil from Iran. The India-Iran bilateral trade during the fiscal year 2016-17 was $12.89 billion. India imported $10.5 billion worth of goods, mainly crude oil, and exported commodities worth $2.4 billion US. Iran caters to a large part of India's energy needs, and in return, India exports medicine, machinery and parts, and even grains to Iran. Strategically, both countries are old allies. India and Iran have shared strategic interests in Afghanistan, Central Asia, and the Middle East. In addition to the embassy in Tehran, India has two consulates in Iran, one in Bandar Abbas and another in Zahedan. Chambers of commerce of both countries have regular interactions, including visits of commercial delegations. Indian corporates also see huge business opportunities in Iran. Many companies have invested in Iranian oil refineries, pharmaceuticals, fertilizers, and in construction sectors as well. The suspension of UN economic sanctions in 2016 brought immense possibilities to Iran. It also opened a whole new world of opportunity that benefited Indian businessmen. Apart from consumer goods, India collaborated with Iran in the fields of machinery, auto, and mining. India is the most preferred nation for Iranians for investment.
We have excellent relations, and these relations will continue. And these are not limited only to economic field. You know that Iran has also given access to India to Chabahar, which is linked to the situation in Afghanistan. So Iran is relevant to us both in economic terms as well as geopolitical context.
Maintaining diplomatic balance for India in Central Asia is not easy, as the United States, Israel and Saudi Arabia have sour relations with Iran. However, after the nuclear deal, Iran's impact increased in the Middle East, Persian Gulf and Central Asia. India was bound to benefit from it. Due to better relations with Iran, India can benefit rebuilding contract with Iraq, Syria and Lebanon. Through Iran, India will be able to easily enter Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan and Turkmenistan besides Russia and Afghanistan.
The oil thing will affect in the sense that Iran will come under pressure. So we can even see that Iran might say, okay, please continue to buy oil from us. We will give you a rate cut. We will sell it to you at a cheaper rate. So they will try to incentivize this relationship, that we have with them on the energy sector. India has to remain concerned about its energy security, because we need all this oil for our economy, for our development. So I think we may even continue to buy oil from Iran and see what the Americans have to then say, or what kind of sanctions they wish to impose.
The Chabahar port is being developed with India's cooperation. The port is intended to provide an alternative route for trade between India and Afghanistan and other Middle Eastern countries, bypassing Pakistan, that has often created hurdles for India's trade with these countries. Chabahar port has provided not just a route but also an opportunity to boost trade. Trade via sea route is cost effective. Large shipments can be transported at once at 1/4 of the cost as compared to rail and roads. Chabahar port also holds strategic importance for India. It is India's reply to Pakistan and China at a time when China is developing Pakistan's Gwadar port to connect it to its One Belt, One Road project. Iran imports rice and medicines from India and exports oil back. India is making payments for crude oil imported from Iran into escrow accounts of 5 of their banks held with state-run UCO Bank Limited. This payment mechanism would help India and Iran to overcome US sanctions by making payments in Indian rupee and not using US dollars for trade. At many international forums, Iran did not support Pakistan's anti-India agenda. In 1990, both India and Iran took a stand against the Taliban regime in Afghanistan. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Well, so that's it from us in today's edition of In Depth. You can also watch our episodes online on YouTube and Twitter. And don't forget to send your feedback and suggestions about our program. Thank you very much for your time.